loves shrimp? Who else loves shrimp?
I'm going to show you how things can go wrong real fast if you're not careful. I have these shrimp. I want to put them in the tank that I just set up, and I'm pretty excited about it. But first, I'm going to share some of these shrimp with my fellow shrimpers and maybe sell a few. Whoa, check that out. What am I supposed to do with this? I have to admit that I kind of got lazy with my water changing. I had some parameter swings that affected the livelihood of a lot of my shrimp. So noticing that I have some shrimplets, but I also noticed that I have this carpet that's starting to form on the substrate of green hair algae. I do the only thing I know to do, and I start pulling everything out. Look at that shrimp right there. It's even carrying hair algae on it as it's swimming along. That's one of the things why I started getting concerned that maybe that was contributing to my parameter swings. I definitely didn't want to have this issue. I was pretty proud of the tank and the way it looked, but you got to do what you got to do. And I know it's mainly aesthetics, but I wanted my tank to be healthier for my shrimp because I did have a lot of shrimplets. I wasn't sure if these snow white plecos were going to do well with my shrimp, but I put them in anyways and made this kind of like a community tank.
Hey, quit looking at fish.
I have some hooker moss, mayberry moss, some pearl weed, and you can see where the algae is concentrated and it clumped up together. And this was after I started addressing it and turning the lights off a little bit more. We talked about it in my streams a couple of times, and there's some decent video of when it was pretty bad. So don't forget to go watch my streams, Keeping It Shrimple. And please, while you're here, if you're new to the channel, or if you're not new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed. It'll really help me out in trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And by getting there, I'm going to do some pretty cool giveaway stuff. So help me out, hit that subscribe button, hit that like and share. So what about my crystal red PRL tank? Well, they're in a 10-gallon, and I do have them doing pretty good now. They also had a little bit of an algae issue, and I was able to get that one taken care of while I was taking care of the 20 long, and it's resulted in some pretty cool activity here. You can see the shrimp have been breeding, the shrimplets are growing up nice and healthy, and they're enjoying their shrimp envy food. Whoa, what's this? This is the perfect molt. I had to share that with everybody. It's just a perfect molt is very exciting to see. So back to the shrimp in the 20-gallon long. Of course, like I said before, they are enjoying some shrimp envy complete. The shrimp love the food. I really enjoy the way it breaks up, so that way the little particles that are floating around in the water will get to the shrimplets, so they don't have to be in this dog pile. They can if they want to, but they don't have to be. So here we go. This is about 2 months later after I started noticing the algae issues. And really the only thing I did was I turned my lights off. I got my tank balanced as far as within the parameters that I want for these Caridina. And it worked out marvelously. No more carpeting of hair algae on the substrate, and the shrimplets are surviving well. There is a lot of them. The adults are doing really well. They're colored up really nicely. The willow moss I put back in the tank after I separated it and had it in a breeder box. Pearlweed has cleaned up really nicely. So I kept it shrimple, like I've said in my streams, and it's actually working out really well. I have this close-up shot so you can see the little shrimplet that pops up right there, coming out from behind a piece of substrate. That's how tiny and fresh it is. And this area earlier in the video had just a carpet of green algae. You can see that the shrimplets are loving it. I even had one shrimplet that came from the black pandas. I believe it was the shadow panda mother right here that spawned that beautiful shrimplet. She was the only one that survived because I had that horrible parameter swing, and really it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about how to be more engaged with my tanks and remember that I can't just have the lights going on 10 to 12 hours a day because I want to look at my shrimp. I got to remember that lighting is part of the equation when it comes to balance in your aquarium. So the results of resetting the tank, basically pulling everything out, turning off the lights for several weeks at a time, maybe only a couple of hours so that I could feed my shrimp and, make sure everything's doing okay. That really gave me a better understanding of how much lighting can affect it. Now this light is set at 100%. There's no dimmer on it. So that was one of the things that I forgot about when I was having my aquarium lights on for so long, because my other lights are on a dimmer setting to reproduce normal daylight and sunset, sunrise type of situations. So, and I also control the peak hours of light to be very small, short window, and not at 100%. And if it was at 100%, it's only for, like I said, a short window of time. So that way I didn't have algae problems. This light, however, on this tank is not set up that way. So that was probably my mistake number one. Overall, the results with the orange tangerine tigers, I want to say orange tigers because they are so orangish. Now, everybody knows I'm a little bit colorblind, so I may be seeing orangish and you may be seeing something else. Just know that there's a little disclaimer as far as my colorblind situation, my color challenge. I'm color challenged. Yeah, that's the right way to say it. But anyways, as you can see, it's done marvels for this tank. It's been a wonderful transition, seeing all of the shrimplets that are now surviving because I managed to control the parameter swings. And I wasn't so interested or concerned with pH or anything of that nature. I know this is substrate that is fairly new. So as long as I keep the TDS at about 120 to 140, these shrimp seem to do really, really well. And the mosses, it just looks beautiful. Yes, the giant willow moss is a slow grower, but I started with just a very small, maybe 3 or 4 strands, and it turned into what I have in this tank now. Even the sponge filter, look at how clean that looks. And I did not scrub in any way, shape, form, or fashion. All of the cleanup for this tank was done by controlling my light and understanding how light brightness and how long you keep the light on will affect just overall balance of your aquarium. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Sorry it's been so long. I really appreciate all of the support during the live stream on Wednesdays at 7 Central. Keeping it shrimple. I hope to see you again next time. I love shrimp.